Hi. So many of you have asked me, how are TLS agents chosen? And I always say that it has something to do with a resonance that they were born with, something that they're born with. But what does that actually mean? So my purpose for making this video is to explain what I mean by that, and in doing so, really giving a big picture understanding of insights regarding different levels of awareness, having to do with different abilities and what each dimension or level of awareness corresponds to, and I'll explain what that means. So, according to what I was taught, there are 10 different dimensions. When I say dimensions, I'm not talking about different worlds. I'm talking about different levels of awareness. So, everybody is born with a specific resonance. In other words, everybody is born on a specific state and with a specific state of dimensional awareness. So I happen to know the name of the first 5. I don't know the last 5. But again, each state of awareness, each state of dimensional awareness, what we call dimensions, dictate what you're able to perceive, dictate what we're able to be aware of, dictate really our reality and what we're able to do in the first place. So the first 5 dimensions with their names goes as follows. There's beta, and this is in order. There's beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. Now, some of you may have heard these before in regards to science. Now, I call science third dimensional science because they're mainly focused on the physical aspect of things. So they call what we just said, beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma, brainwave frequencies or brainwave patterns that they can measure. And they're right, they could measure that physically, but what these actually are and what they actually mean reach much wider than the modern day comprehension of science. Because again, science is limited to everything physical, something that can be measured and therefore understood. But these dimensions, these levels of awareness, and I'll explain what that means, are a lot more than just brainwave frequencies. They pretty much dictate everything. So in this video, I'll briefly speak about how they're broken up, what's associated with each, and I also want to give a personal experience that I went through firsthand that will give some insights into how to navigate through these different states of dimensional awareness, or dimensions, whatever you want to call them. So again, there's the first 5 at least. I don't know the name of the last 5, but there's beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. Each one of these dimensions are broken up into 10 portions. So there's beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta 4, beta 5, delta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gamma 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and everything in between. Now, what this means is, okay, first and foremost, the collective level of humanity today, according to what I was taught, is currently in the mid-levels of beta. Let's call it beta 5, beta 6. That's very, very low. And we're talking about our level of dimensional awareness, what we can perceive, what we can understand, the way we comprehend things, the abilities that we have. It's very low currently on the collective level. And the reason that I'm saying that is not to bring us down, but to show us how much room we actually have to grow, how much room we actually have to ascend, to improve our really perception and our reality that we experience in life as a whole. So beta and alpha are more associated with the physical and materialistic aspects of life. When you go more into theta, it becomes more spiritually oriented. There's reading, there's meditation. When you go into delta, delta is more associated with, of course, meditation, the ability and understanding of energetic manipulation for good purposes, of course. Guided out-of-body experiences to, full force on a first-hand level, out-of-body experiences where you physically leave with a non-physical body, and the non-physical body or the etheric body is connected to the physical body by a silver cord, which I can make a whole other video on that another time. And when we go to gamma, gamma is where levitation, out-of-body experiences, flight with the body physically, telepathic communication, all of these things become second nature in gamma. So again, based on where you're at in terms of our state of dimensional awareness on the individual level, that will dictate what you can perceive. So if something exists in Delta 5 and you're at Delta 4, you will not be able to perceive or understand whatever is at Delta 5. In other words, anything that's above one's level of dimensional awareness exists in a higher resonance, and therefore you will not be able to perceive it. But wherever you're at, you can perceive everything below. So that's why in the Pyramid Code, for example, there's a portion that talks about 144 stars in the zodiac that we are not able to see currently on the collective level because they exist in the upper levels of Gamma. By the way, Gamma is the fifth dimension. Gamma is fifth dimensional awareness. And this age of love that we're talking about, the purpose for TLS existing in the first place and everything that they do in order to help humanity and in order to help guide and assist humanity in reaching this new age is reaching a state of Gamma collectively, which is fifth dimensional awareness or higher. So these stars exist in upper levels of Gamma. We would be able to see them if and when, and I'll say when, not if, when we reach the collective level of those upper levels of Gamma. But so long as we're below them, we won't be able to perceive them. In other words, something can be standing right in front of you. There could be proof right in front of you. And if it's out of our range of perception, in other words, if it's out of our range or state of dimensional awareness, we will not be able to perceive it. So we understand, based on what was shared so far, we have beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. Each one is broken up into 10 portions. And as you go higher, it becomes more of a spiritual experience of life.